Welcome to Stock on My Guy Media. We've got Ryan here. Just gonna ask him a few questions because I feel like he's a interesting one for years. You get me? But yeah. Well, the first question for you is, what made you start your brand, Blackguard?
So originally, me and my one friend was going to do it when we was in college. And it was originally going to be called Villains Clothing, but he backed out. He didn't want to do the clothing label anymore. So I was researching more names, blah, blah, blah. Blackguard stood out straight away. That was one of the names that was just there. It was different. I'd never heard of it before anyway. But Blackguard stood out. It was just on the tip of my tongue. So that was back in 2015 when I first started designing. 2016 it dropped. And the rose stencil that came about from, it's kind of a bit more sentimental really, to be fair. I remember one of the first
question. I was gonna say, what does Blackguard mean to you, basically?
Oh, is that the second question?
Yeah, what does it mean to you? Let me know.
So again, the rose, it's a bit more sentimental. So back in school, I remember, I think like year 7, year 8, we was doing art. We had to draw a rose. It was the first ever piece of A-star on. So when I was designing my logo, stuff like that, I was looking through old books and trying to find a bit of inspiration. And the rose was there. I did different designs of the rose. One in the circle kind of stood out. So the circle is kind of like how an engagement when a wedding ring. See the look at that? So it's like eternal.
Basically.
So eventually, fingers crossed, all being well, if I could leave the legacy to like my children and that, you know what I mean, and so on and so on, it's something that's gonna be eternal, isn't it? Hence the circle.
Basically. Okay, so what do you think you could teach the youngers today, business-wise?
That's a great question. So my 9 to 5 job, say, is barbering. So I've taught a few people how to barber over the years anyway.
Would you say that's a hobby or your job?
That's my job. That pays the bills. So I've trained apprentices up before, probably about 5 or 6 people altogether now. They're still barbers. Some of them aren't barbers, some of them still are. When it comes to the clothing, obviously I've just set up a brand new business as well now, called KRK. So we do clothing printing, we do fashion consultancy. We can, basically if you want to start a clothing label or you need merch or uniform for work or anything like that, we can do that. So again, we can teach children teach the younger generation how to build a website, how to market it, how to get the stock out, how to do the photo shoots. And again, Blackguard Productions, another business that we've got, can take care of the photo shoots and the media and all the photography side of things, so the media side.
Okay. My sources tell me that you also manage artists. So what made you want to get into that?
Yes, I do manage artists as well. That was more of a natural one as well. I just kind of fell into that one. Again, through the clothing. So I remember I dropped some reflective jackets and Alex Campbell, shout out Alex, and Scopes were doing a video, and Alex messaged me on Instagram and said, I got a video shoot. If you've got any stock there, we'll get it in the video, we'll get the brand out there. And it went from there really. So I met Alex, met everybody that was wearing the stock in the video. So the video is called Potions. So it's the Potions remix. So if you see that, you'll see the reflective coats, the caps and everything that were in the video. And then from there, me and Alex, obviously we had a relationship, blah, blah, blah. And I had a message from a radio show. I think it was The Beat London, Kaylee Golden. Anyway, they were doing a radio competition and they wanted to give away free clothes. So I said, you can do that, but you have to get one of the artists on a one, which is Alex. We went over to London, they got the free clothes. Alex was on radio doing a little freestyle and an interview. And then from there, he introduced me to his manager. And then I became a manager under Dose with Jordan Graham. So shout out to Jordan as well.
Seems like you're a good networker still, I'm not going to lie.
That's it. I've been grafting for years.
Yeah, man. So you manage artists, what do you find difficult about it?
There's a lot of things I do, isn't like, I've got a lot to do, so the timekeeping and everything, so like I juggle too much. Personally, that's what I find the hardest. So each artist, obviously, they're very different from each other as well, so I've got to understand each person individually to be able to understand their targets and what their goals are. So one of the artist goals is to get more radio plays. One of the other artist goals is to get more shows. Someone's to get more videos out there. So like I need to understand the individual goals to try and tick them off.
Basically.
But again, everybody's grafting, everybody's doing their thing. It's hard to find a time where we're all free.
Yeah.
But we make it work. We do make it work. So I'd say that's the most challenging part, really, the timekeeping part of everything.
Yeah. So what do you find, like, what do you look for in artists that you manage, like if you're a potential artist?
You've got to believe in yourself, and you want to, I don't know, like the work rate has to be there. So if I'm looking, let's say an artist is approaching me and wants management, and he's not really putting it anywhere, I'd always invite you to a studio session first, just so I can see how you work.
See what the bars are saying.
Yeah, sometimes it's about the bars as well, but it's also about like their work rate and their mentality towards things too. Like I don't want to sign someone
then
who comes.
Are you an honest manager to say, yo, them bars are dead then?
You know what? I've never said it once because my artists are sick.
Yeah,
so I don't think there's been a shit track that's been ever made. You
heard it from him.
You give me the artist I've got are just talented.
Never made a shit track.
Very talented artist.
Basically. Yeah, man. So what moving forward, is that what you're looking to do in the future? More artists managing, or is it more business, barbering, or because it's gonna be hard doing all three, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, for real, it is hard, but they all kind of cross promote each other anyway, so they all help each other grow. So if one grows, they all grow,
basically.
So with the barbering, for example, the clothing stock is in the barbers right behind me. So we do media as well. So the productions, we've done barbering videos in here, again, cross promoting. We've got the studio, which cross promotes the music production. So the videos, the graphics, everything an artist needs.
Listen, people, you're not hearing what it just said, cross promoting. The youths them, need to listen to what he's saying, cross promoting. He's saying that he's got other businesses that promote his other businesses. So he's saying you gotta come from all angles. You get me?
For real, it's called upselling. So when they're in the studio and they've written their track and they've done their song, whatever, they're happy with the track. They're like, oh, if you ever need a video recorded, we also do those too. If you need graphic design work for a cover art, we do those too. If you're on a photo shoot, just to get your brand out there a little bit more, we do those too. If you need merch, we do those too. Upselling, having these little different avenues for people to benefit from. But the thing is as well, we're not trying to rip people off with things either. So like we'll do things to your budget. So obviously if you're a younger generation, for example, I know like people who are 15, 16, one person started at 14, we did him a free freestyle because he's 14.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? So like around the budget, around you and your goals and stuff, we can cater to everything. Ah, shit.
Let's go. So would you say you're a workaholic because you got 3 hustles going on? Do you find time for yourself in between?
Not really. So I'd say it's hard to find the time. My phone goes off all the time. Like again, it's the people I deal with, isn't it? Everybody's got different schedules. Some people like to be early birds. Some people like to be night owls.
Yeah,
so like if I don't know, let's just say an artist, for example, if they've got an idea for something and it comes to them at 11 o'clock at night and they want to tell me the idea to get it down, they'll call me at 11 o'clock at night. More so now, it's kind of been a bit more quiet towards that because everyone's respecting like I'm doing a lot.
Yeah, you need
so like
boundaries.
at certain times now, like I'm trying New Year and I'm trying like 8 o'clock, 8:30. That's when my phone goes off. But again, it's difficult to do that sometimes because certain things need to be done at that time. And like if artwork needs to be done and I need to do an invoice or something like that, it might be 10 minutes on the laptop, but it has to be done just so it's not left to the last minute and then overstressed with things as well.
Basically. How long you been doing this then?
So I started with the clothing. So Black God Clothing started 2016. From there, I think 2018, we had the Black God Productions. I was barbering through all this, but I started barbering like 2016 as well. Then the artist management come probably about 2018 as well. That's where the productions came from. So again, obviously, managing artists, understanding the expenses behind it, create your own team.
Yeah.
Obviously, the artists get a lot cheaper for having our own team. So they benefit from having cheaper videos at the same quality and so on and so on. Then it was 2018, I think I had my first barbershop managed in Halesowen. 2020, I opened 2021, because obviously we had COVID and everything, we had that little break and that. I think 2021, we opened the Blackguard headquarters, and 2022, the start of 22, we opened the studio. So from 2016, it's been everything Blackguard, franchising out, growing, and so on.
So,
And then hopefully a lot more.
Throughout this whole time, yeah, what keeps it going? Motivation-wise, what keeps it going? Because it's been like you said, it's been what, 6 years?
Yeah, so it comes and goes, to be completely honest with you. So like some days, like it does get a little bit, but I have a customer come in and he's wearing a Blackguard jumper, something as small as that, like seeing it, like that was just an idea or draw on a piece of paper, come to life, and people are wearing it.
Basically.
That keeps the motivation going a little bit. Like when it comes to the music, hearing tracks, so like when I gone to the studio, I got sent 4 tracks the other day from Sarge, starting his mixtape this year.
Big up Sarge.
Big up to Sarge. So I managed him for the longest so far as well, 2018 straight away. First artist I signed and still here. But yeah, he sent me 4 tracks the other day. You know what, one of them gave me goosebumps. Like it was just cold, just real rap, just cold. And then he's giving me the ideas of his mixtape, he's doing the concept ideas he's got. And seeing how gassed he's getting with it, that keeps me motivated as well. 100%, because we gotta try and create that vision and make that come to life.
Basically, so you see the beginning of what he was going on with, you must have had some form of rejection. How do you deal with rejection?
I don't know. It depends when it's over. So it could be a little thing or something like that. But there's ways around things. It depends what you mean by rejection.
I mean, as in like reaching out to people, they might not get back to you.
Yeah, that to be fair,
we've all been there. You get me?
Yeah, that does happen a lot. It's irritating. So like the most irritating thing is when we book something with a big, let's say, artist. So we booked in a video shoot with a big artist. Everything's set to go. When it comes a couple of days before, you can't get hold of them. It's coming to the day. Are we doing the video or not? Still can't get hold of them.
But that comes down to people not being dependable.
You know what I mean? So like dealing with that and then having to tell people and obviously staff that have booked it off work, for example, because obviously a lot of the team, this is their side hustle. They still have to do 9 to 5 to pay bills, blah, 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 which
100.
is something we're working towards, doing this full time, something that they enjoy. So obviously they booked the day off work. They've also lost money, and then you're having to deal with all that. Like I take it on my shoulders a lot, the whole rejection thing.
Basically.
You know what I mean? As being like the management and trying to sort things, and when things go wrong, like I blame, a lot of the blame goes on myself. So like dealing with it, sometimes it's a bit difficult, but it just depends on what it is we're dealing with, really.
Basically. Alright, so looking back, if you could change one thing, what would it be?
That's a great question. Maybe not trying to rush certain things too much, and that's just overexcitement, I'd say. So I'd say if I was to do it again, more strategic, have more of a system to it, because when I was first releasing the clothes and everything like that was coming from the manufacturers, coming straight to me, like I was like, whoa, I got like 100 t-shirts here, like, I want to get them out straight away. With no marketing plan there. You know what I mean? You should wait a couple of weeks, get everything sorted, but I wanted to just drop them. So they did well, but they could have done better, and we could have been a bit bigger, and maybe just be a bit more patient